Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. How was your trip back to Covington?
It was a long day.
Wow, I bet it
Yeah,
was. What time
I
did you get home?
I got home at about 6:30, but I went through Roanoke, so
Right, because
yeah,
you
so
were giving someone a ride, right?
yeah.
Right.
But it was great. It was a
Yeah,
lovely ride and we had really good conversations, so it was lovely.
yeah, great. That's cool. So you got back to Covington at 6:30 or Roanoke? Covington.
Yeah, roughly. I think it was around there.
Yeah. What time did you leave? Because when I left, y'all were still there.
No, we left at the same we left like right after lunch.
Oh, right. So not long after I left then.
It might have been right around the same time, yeah.
Right, right, yeah. Well, we certainly enjoyed having y'all visit.
It was so wonderful.
That was really great. I'm glad you got to see your mom too. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a unique experience to have a sangha anyway, but then to bring in together two sanghas, that
I
was just
know.
so amazing.
Yeah, that was. That was. Yeah. Okay, Tom, I know you said you were going to have to mute. Give me some indication. I guess you're here, right?
I did see him there.
Yeah. He's driving up to New York. He has a found
Oh,
out today he's got an interview with someone up in New York tomorrow morning at 9. So so he's
so
very
we won't ask him to do any reading for us.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's driving. Just give us a little bit of your attention, Tom. He told me, I talked to him earlier today, and he said, I'll be there. I'll be hearing, but I won't be responding. I'll be on mute because he'll be coming into New York and there's a lot of, ambient noise,
Yeah.
airplanes and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, um, I am doing the class again tonight, and I'm not sure. I reread the um, chat text I got from Bante, and I'm not sure quite what he meant, so I'll have to clarify. But anyway, I'm doing it tonight. I can't tell if he was asking me to take over the the whole class until he could get, or just tonight. When I reread it, I thought, well, I'm not sure what he meant, but he did
Okay.
say he would be back and be doing the Abhidharma part.
Oh,
So
okay.
I know that. So anyway, that's neither here nor there for tonight because being in the moment, right? Um,
Hmm.
Tonight is tonight. So um, he usually starts with a verse, so maybe we'll just and I don't know the verse that he starts with, so maybe we'll just have a few moments of quiet
Okay.
to start the class off. So relaxing our bodies, relaxing our minds, gently closing our eyes, and breathe. Okay, sadhu,
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 sadhu.
sadhu. Okay, so tonight, still being on part 4, we are now on part C, which is the Ayatana Paba. And that, interestingly enough, is not in the blue book. They
Oh,
totally skipped that section.
hmm.
But I asked Bante if that meant we should skip it for the class or not. And he said, no, definitely teach it from the sutta itself. But for some reason, it's not in the blue book. So we will not be referring to that tonight. So if you've got the sutta in front of you, what I thought we would do first is maybe just read the English. I want to give you the vocabulary. He's always been giving us a vocabulary list, and I did not do that in the past, but I think I should stay with his method. So I will be pulling vocabulary out of each paragraph if there's something new in it. But we'll start with ayatana paba, just those words, the ayatana as a vocabulary word. And ayatana, Ayatana, paba, of course, means section.
Yeah.
Ayatana means sphere as it's translated here, as sense spheres. It's really, in this case, it's sense spheres, but it means sphere in general. It also means bases. And frequently when studying this, we will hear, instead of sense spheres, we will hear sense bases, the 6 sense bases. And that's what this section is going to be on, is the 6 sense bases, or the 6 sense spheres. Ayatana also means the locus, or the compass, or that which supports and directs. So ayatana has a very broad meaning. And in this case, we're talking about this section is going to be on the 6 sense bases, 6 sense spheres. So that's the first vocabulary word. And the word itself does not necessarily refer to the senses at all, but it does here in this sutra. Okay? So reading down through the first paragraph in the Pali, we have Punyacharang Bhikkhave. What was that? Oh, okay.
I think it's just background noise.
Oh, okay. Punyacharang Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Dhammanesu Dhammanupasi Viharati Chasu. Okay, so far those words we've had. Chasu, the cha means 6. And su is the grammatical ending. So chasu means of the 6. And ajatika we've had. Bahiresu we've had, and that means inner and outer, or internal and external. Ayatanesu, that's a grammatical ending of ayatana, the same word as the sense base or sense sphere. Okay, so ayatanesu is the grammatical ending. That means within or referring to or by way of. Okay? And katan chepana means, well, they translate it as and furthermore, or and further how. So katam chepana bikave biku damanesu chita nupasi viharati chesu ajatika bahiresu ayatanesu. Okay, so Bhikkhu and Damanesu Chitta Nupasi, we have the same phenomenon again this time, the same occurrence of Chitta Nupasi, which is we discussed last time, and nowhere else. And I've looked in other Pali originals of the sutta, and all of them here say Damanesu Dhammanupasi, which means seeing the Dharma within the Dharma, seeing Dharma as Dharma. And I don't know why this is saying Chitta Nupasi, but it does it in each. Why is it doing that? It does it in each case. So we're going to translate it as Dharma in Dharma. And that's what the English in the paragraph just adjacent to it does. It says Dharma in Dharma. It doesn't say mind in Dharma or Dharma in mind. So, okay. So we'll just pretend like that says Dharma. Viharati is lives. And there again, chasu means in six, internal and external spheres or bases. So the vocabulary words in this paragraph, the only new one really is the ayatana, which you see as ayatanesu twice because that means within or by way of, through the bases. Okay?
Okay.
So now the English, let's just read that. So we're talking about, well, first off, we're talking about the internal and external. And when we're talking about the sense spaces, what that means, the internal sense base is the eyeball in this case, or the ear, or the nose itself, the actual sensory organ. And there's 6 of them, okay? The external, the bahiresu, the external, is the object of that sense. So for the eye, it's a form, it's an object. And it's the color and shape of that object. For the nose, it could be a banana, right? It's the smell. The object is the smell itself. For the ear, it would be sound. For the tongue, it would be taste, the flavor of something. So that's the external. So when they're talking about the internal and external sense bases, they're talking about the organ itself and then the object, the sensory object of that organ, okay? So that's what they're referring to here again and again. We'll see the ajatika biharesu ayatanesu, which is the internal and external sense sphere or base. So the English for that first paragraph, and furthermore bhikkhus, a bhikkhu dwells observing Dharma in Dharma by way of or with reference to the 6 internal and external bases. And furthermore, bhikkhus, how does a bhikkhu dwell observing Dharma in Dharma with reference to the 6 internal and external bases? And then we'll answer that.
I have a question,
Uh-huh.
if I may.
Yes.
I understand the internal is the organ itself and the external is the object that the organ interacts with. Which is the translation of the word internal and external?
That ajatika
Okay.
is internal,
Okay.
and the bahiresu is a grammatical form of it. Bahiresa is external.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. This is an interesting section. I'm just going to talk a little bit before I get into some detail here. This section really brings out to the front the fact that all of our fetters, everything that ties us to samsara, comes to us through our senses, our 6 senses. So it talks about the 6 senses as being the cause and the source, the origination of our fetters, of our being bound to samsara, the senses themselves. So the idea here is to understand our sensory impressions as being nothing but sensory impressions and not being who and what we are. It's really to recognize them as impermanent, non-self, and as suffering. When we can get so we understand that, then we don't subjugate ourselves to our sensory impressions and the sensory input that we are getting all of the time. So the next paragraph, and every one after that actually, gives us 5 focuses for meditation and 5 stages of understanding. Those are one and the same thing. And we'll go over those in this next paragraph and how to really understand through meditation, how to understand the impact and just the way of approaching the senses so that they do not dominate us and don't necessarily keep us bound to samsara. Okay?
Yeah.
So the next every paragraph after this talks about the fetters. And the fetters, do we know what the fetters are? Do we know the 10 fetters? Should I go over them?
I do not know them.
Okay, what they are, you might write these down because I don't know, since it's not in the blue book, I'm not sure. But anyway, what they are, the very first fetter is self-view, a concept of self, having a intellectual concept of self. And these are, of course, to be abandoned. They're fetters, so you don't want
Right. Fetter kind of implies that
yeah,
it's not
right,
a positive.
right. And the word for fetter in that first paragraph, that second paragraph, just so you have a reference here, the third line, the very first word, samyujana,
Okay.
that means fetter. That is the word, fetter. Interestingly enough, that word also means connection.
Ooh.
Yeah. So when you think about that, you think about, the whole idea of non-clinging and detachment,
Hmm.
um, you know, being able to, so, but it's kind of interesting that connection is also, a fetter is something that ties you to something. So it connects you to that thing and can be a very strong connection, which would be a fetter if you're clinging, right? So I just think that's an interesting. I thought I'd throw that out. The samyajana also means connection, but here in this context, it's fetter, and the first fetter is self-view. The second fetter is doubt, and that means skeptical doubt of the Dharma, skeptical doubt of the truth of the Buddha's teachings, the skeptical doubt of the Buddha being someone who had wisdom and who was enlightened. It's that kind of doubt. It's not the inquisitive, inquiring doubt, but skeptical, more cynical, and doubting, not just questioning, but a more cynical kind of doubt. Okay? So doubt is the second fetter. Clinging to views is the third. The fourth is sensory desire, which goes right back to the senses being the root of fetters. The fifth one is ill will. The sixth one is craving form. Craving physical existence. Craving existence within the form realm, the physical realm, like we're in right now. The seventh one is craving the formless realm, which means any of the Deva realms or any of the realms that are not physically tangible, but craving existence in one of those realms. So 6 and 7 are craving existence. It's just in the different realms. 8 is conceit. And conceit is that very subtle sense that we have of I am. So it's different from the self-view, because self-view is an intellectual. You can eliminate self-view by intellectually understanding there is no self. But you still have this gut feeling that I am.
Hmm.
Right? So the gut feeling of I am is number 8. The first one is an intellectual understanding that there is non-self, no self. Okay? That's the difference in those two. Number 9 is restlessness, inability to concentrate, focus, the monkey mind, agitation, stuff like that. Restlessness. And number 10 is ignorance, just not understanding, having, no understanding of the impermanence and the suffering and the emptiness of reality. So that's ignorance. That's number 10. So those are the fetters, and they all come to us through sensory input.
I have a note. You said the senses are the origin of our fetters. Is that right?
Right.
Did I get that right?
They come to us, the fetters come to us through the senses. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there are other factors, of course, because even an enlightened being gets sensory input, but he doesn't cling to them.
The clinging.
Right, right. But they do come to us through the sensory doors, the sense doors. That's why they talk about it's so important to guard the senses, because that is the doorway through which the fetters enter and form. They don't have to. But for most of us, they do.
May
So,
I ask a question about pronunciation?
sure.
CA, that's cha, right?
Yes. Or ch, yeah.
Ch, that's right. It's more of a sound.
It's a more of an yeah.
And then what about CHA? Is that also?
That's cha.
Okay.
So you have a
Cha and
ch,
cha.
ta. It's like cha.
Okay.
Yeah, cha.
Thank you.
Right,
Got it.
right. So the second paragraph. let's do the, well, let me see, vocabulary in the second paragraph. Okay, chaku. Chakku is the actual word, and that means EYE. So we're going to go through the senses here. On that, this paragraph is on the I, and then rupe or rupa is the root word. Rupe is a grammatical ending, but rupa means form, material object, rupa. So here we're talking, in this paragraph, we're talking about sight. We're talking about the eyeball and its object of perception, of seeing. So chaku and rupa. And it says, well, let's read the English first. Okay. Here, bhikkhu. A bhikkhu understands I, he understands form, he understands the fetters which arise owing to these two, in other words, I and form. He understands how the unarisen fetters come to arise. He understands how the arisen fetter is abandoned, and he understands how the abandoned fetter does not come to arise in the future. Those are the 5 meditative focuses, or the 5 stages of understanding, or the 5, not stages, but 5 facets of understanding. So the first one, he understands I and form just for themselves. The second one, he understands the fetters that arise because of them or through them. The third one, he understands how the unarisen fetter comes to arise. So he understands the causal fact of what causes this fetter to arise out of the simple sensory impression. The cause of the arising. And the fourth one, he understands how to release that arisen fetter or abandon, release, abandon. Okay, and the last one, he understands how the abandoned fetter does not come to arise in the future. In other words, he understands how to prevent further arising. It's a prevention of further arising. So those are the 5 focuses of understanding the phenomenon of the fetters and their relationship to the sensory impressions and vice versa. The relationship between sensory impressions and fetters. So going back to the Pali paragraph, okay. Idha means in this case, or here, in this translation. In this case, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu understands the I and understands form. Pajanati is understands. It's a very deep understanding. An interesting thing, I'm going to back up here just a second. This word pajanati, janati means to understand. Pajanati takes it deeper. So that little adding pa in front of janati makes it a very deep understanding. But you can say janati, and that means to understand something. But it's on a different level. It's not as deep. Okay? Which I think is kind of interesting. But so this is pajanati. It's a profound understanding. So the bhikkhu understands I, and he understands form. He understands both cause, paticca is cause, and if you know the Pali term for the dependent origination, this paticca there means dependency, and here it's cause, which so that he understands the cause for the arising. Upajati is arising of the fetters. Okay, he understands. Okay, remember that the pajanati is the verb and it's always last. He also understands the how the unarisen an upanasa. An is a suffix that means, a prefix that means it negates. It's a negative. So this is the unarising. Upanasa is arising and anupanasa is unarising. So they had an and we have un. Okay. So the unarising of the fetters. He understands how the unarisen fetters arise. I'm sorry, that's what this one is. He understands how the unarisen fetters arise. Is that second one? Tang che pajanati, that he understands. All right. The next one, yata, is the next. Yata che upanasa. He understands the arising fetters abandonment. That pahanang is abandonment. Are you with me?
I am.
Okay. Tang che pajanati, that he understands. Okay, and another yata. Che, this is abandonment again, just a different grammatical form, so it changes pretty significantly. But pahinasa is also abandonment. So He understands how the abandoned, or how to keep the abandoned fetters from arising in the future. That he understands. That's that last part. So another word that's kind of important is that that pahana. P-A-H-A-N-A means abandonment or removal. And here we have it in several forms. We have it in that pahanang. We also have it in pahinasa. But those two words in the last two full lines, those are abandonment. And a lot of Buddhism is about abandoning fetters, abandoning things that are detrimental to our progress towards enlightenment. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the next one, the next paragraph, we're going to once again be introduced to these five. Every one of these is going to have these 5 stages of or 5 factors of understanding, the 5 meditative focuses. Each one of these paragraphs is going to take you through those 5 in each of the 6 sense spheres. Okay, so the next paragraph. Sotang is ear, and sade is sound, or sota is ear. Sotang is the grammatical form of it. Pali has declensions, so nouns change depending on how they're used in the sentence. So that's why you'll see all these varieties of the words. So sota, S-O-T-A, if you go to the English, it has the sota, the base form. And same with sound, it has sada, which is the base form of the word. So sota and sada, which is ear and sound. So the paragraph is Sotang che pajanati, he understands ear. Sade che pajanati, he understands sound. He further understands the arising and the cause of the arising of the fetter that comes from that sound, or comes from them. That he understands. Tang che pajanati. He further understands how the unarisen fetter arises. And that's that yatache an apunasai samyojanasa upado is the means arisen. How that he understands that. Tang che pajanati. All right. The next yata is he understands how the arisen fetter is abandoned. Pahanang, right? Abandoned. He understands that. Next yata is he understands how the abandoned fetter in the future can be prevented from arising. That he understands. So there again, there are the five. He understands them. He understands how the fetters arise from them. He understands how the unarisen will or can arise, the causes. He understands how those fetters can be abandoned, and he understands how they can be prevented in the future from arising again. And the next one, ready to move on? The next
So. Yeah.
Gahnan or Gahna is a nose, and Ganda is smell. So he understands nose and he understands smell. So when it's saying he understands
Thank
nose,
you. Checking in the last one.
is that
Just need your ID and credit card.
Yes.
Name, sir?
Rashada.
oh okay. When it's saying he understands eye, he understands nose, he understands
Mr. Thomas.
ear.
Thank you for being diamond member.
Yeah.
And you were staying here for one night, right?
Yeah.
Hey Tom,
Are you the host, Ruth?
I'll give you the 500 points on your account.
If you're the
okay?
host, you can mute him. I think he accidentally unmuted
Yes, I
himself.
do. It's parking over
how do I
here.
do
Yes.
that?
Okay. Yeah.
This parking lot, you can park anywhere.
I parked there.
Tap on his name if you can see it.
Uh-huh. I did, but I must not be the host.
Oh.
Things happening when I tap on his name.
Let me see if I can do it. Oh,
Oh, what is this?
wait, I think I can mute him. Go to participants,
Oh, okay.
and then you'll see a little microphone next to his name.
Oh, right.
See if you can tap that.
It goes away, one of three dots
Thomas, do you know the plate number for the car?
Yes.
goes
And-
away every time I try to put your.
Oh, that means that you're not host.
Just your signature here. Take the box right here, both box.
Hey, Tom,
Plate
you're
number
not
for the car.
muted.
And make sure your phone number is right here. It's right.
It's correct. Yeah.
That's correct.
Tom, mute yourself. You're not muted. I'm glad to hear you're at the hotel, though.
It sounds like you check it in just fine.
Right. At least he's not driving
The room is on
anymore.
the 8th floor. That's the Wi-Fi password here, okay?
He must not be hearing.
And breakfast.
That's
is here
right.
in
We
the
can hear
morning,
him, but he
6:30 to
can't
9.
hear us.
Okay.
Right.
This way.
Thank you very much.
Right, okay.
Okay. Can you hear me if I keep talking?
Yeah, I think go ahead. He should be in his room in a
Okay,
minute. It'll
all right.
probably be quiet then.
So what it's saying when he's saying when the Buddha's saying he understands eye, he understands ear, he understands nose, what he's saying is he understands its impermanence. He understands that it is not himself or ourselves.
Right.
We understand that it is in and of itself a factor of suffering. So it's understanding it as a mere phenomenon that is passing through reality, and it is not what we are, it is not who we are. So it's understanding those three characteristics of existence in relation to it. So that's when he's saying he's understanding knows, that's what it means. It's not.
So is nose, is it Ghana? Shana?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Ghana, right, his nose. And Sota is ear. So that's what it means when he says he understands it for what it is. He understands it as
Not self.
not self, and as impermanent, and as suffering. Those three characteristics of existence.
Right.
The understanding the organ itself as those, and the object of the sensory organ as those three things. And that's what that means. So when you understand that, if you understand that, then they would not become a fetter. So you would understand how and why they would become a fetter, and how you can avoid them from becoming a fetter. And that's all in understanding the actual things themselves. Everything else cascades from that. Okay?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So we're
I'm
going
tracking.
on. Huh?
This is tracking for me.
Okay. Cool. All right. So Ghana and Ganda. And one of them has the H, Ghana, and the other one is Ganda. So
Oh, right. It's
H kind of jumps position.
it sure does, doesn't it?
Right, right. So so for correct pronunciation, it would be Ghana and Gandha. So anyway, okay, so it's the same three things, same five things. You understand it, you understand the arising of the fetters from it, you understand how the unarisen fetters do arise, and they arise from not understanding those three characteristics of existence in relation to them. And you understand how to prevent them from arising in the future. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you do that for each of these senses. The next one is Jihuan. That's a really interesting pronunciation, because the V's are pronounced like a V, a cross between a V and a W. And that's tongue. And Raze is taste.
Okay. What is taste?
Rasa, Raza.
Okay. Got it.
Raza. And there again, he understands tongue, he understands taste, he understands that the fetters arise through them. He understands how the unarisen fetters arise. He understands how the arisen fetters can be abandoned. And he understands how we can prevent unarisen fetters from arising. And we do that through understanding them for what they are. And we do all that through seeing form as form, seeing ear as ear, seeing eyeball as eyeball, seeing, understanding sound as just sound. Just keeping them at that level. Hey, Tom.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm glad you're at a hotel.
Yeah, I think when I left the car, it went out of safe driving mode and it turned on by mistake.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see.
Anyway,
Okay. So we are at, I don't know how much of the class you've actually heard, but
actually a lot up until I checked in. Yeah.
okay, good. Because this is a good one. I mean, it
Yeah, I
really,
really like it. I really like the discussion on the fetters and
yeah, it really
Eye
gets,
to Samsara. Yeah.
yeah, it gets
Yeah.
in. Where do the fetters come from anyway? Yeah,
Yeah.
here it is. So this is a really, for me, this is the most impacting, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
And there again, the khandhas, the form, feeling, perception, impulse, and consciousness are all fed by the sensory input too. So our entire experiential existence and our entire accumulation of fetters are all based on sensory input.
Yeah.
That's where they all originate. So, it's so important, this guarding of the senses. And these 5 factors of understanding, facets of understanding, these focuses for meditation are really critical to our progressing along the path. So really, I would say, go back and really look at these 5, and they're reiterated in every single one of these paragraphs on the senses. They're said again and again. So now we're on tongue and taste. And jiva and rasa, that's tongue and taste. And he understands tongue, he understands taste, he understands what they are. They are impermanent, they are non-self, and they are suffering. Okay, so he understands the origin of the arising of the fetters. He understands the unarisen fetters and how they arise. Here we go with the 5 again, but I'm going to keep saying them. He understands the arisen fetters and how to avoid them or prevent them from arising. And he understands how to prevent them from arising in the future. And you prevent them from arising in the future by understanding what they themselves are. So it always goes back to the understanding the very basics, understanding what tongue is and understanding what taste is. And, if you really get that down, then the others kind of fall in place. Because you understand their impermanence and you understand their non-selfness. So you don't cling. Okay. The next one, kayam, which kaya, that's body. I think pretty much everybody knows kaya. And then potaba is that which you feel tactily. I don't think we have even an English word for that.
Tangible?
If tangible can be a noun, then yeah, it would be. Something that is tangible. You could say a tangible.
Yeah, a tangible.
A tangible. So maybe that would be it, a tangible, right? Right. So the body and tangibles, because it's plural here.
Does Bhante Vivek, does he say body sensation or no?
The body sensation would be really what the body is feeling and not the object itself.
Right.
And potava is the object itself. So it would be that which is tangible, a tangible object. Right. So he understands body and he understands tangibles. I'll just say it. Okay. He understands the fetters that are dependent upon the arisings that are dependent upon the fetters. He understands the unarising of the fetters that and how they have arisen. He understands the arising of the fetters and how to abandon them. And he understands the abandonment of fetters that have not yet arisen. In other words, the prevention of further arising of the fetters. So there are those 5 again. So these are really, I mean, if we can really get these into a meditative practice, it would be a good practice.
I bought a concise Pali dictionary. It says potaba is touch or contact.
But that's the action. That's not the object.
Okay.
I mean, but yeah, that would be the well, I guess these others, well, I don't know, they go back and forth because sada is a smell. I mean, sada is a sound. Gandha is a smell. Rasa is a taste or flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the idea anyway, even if the technical literal translation is, it is that which is touched, right? It's definitely that which is touched. And the body touches. So a lot of these words, they're not, they don't directly translate, but I think a tangible would be the best. I have that dictionary too. And sometimes it does real well, and other times, so there again, that's an action. Of course, smell can be the thing or the action too. I smell something, and that something has a smell. So anyway, okay. So those 5 at once again, is looking at the origin and the prevention of the fetters as they relate to the senses. And then the last one of the list, the last sensory organ, is the mind, which mana. Mana is there again, we're talking about translations now. Mana is the Pali word for mind that most relates to the ego mind, not the intellectual mind. Chitta would be, we know
Right.
that's mind, but that's more of the thinking mind, the intellectual mind.
Okay.
Whereas mana is more of the self mind, the ego mind, the mind that is more subjective. So here we have mind, and then the object of the mind is Dharma, which has pages of definitions in the dictionary, but I think in this case it actually is meaning the whole experience of reality. Phenomena as object, phenomena as experience.
Objects of mind, phenomena.
Objects of mind, which is everything from experiential to concrete to, well, that would just about cover it. So yeah, so we have to think very broadly here when we're talking about Dharma. And the teachings of the Buddha are also, because he's teaching what reality is. So he understands mind and he understands objects of mind. I will just say that because that's the easiest way to say it here, because that's what it is. Like the potaba is the object of the body, and rasa is the object, taste is the object of the tongue. So dhamma is the object of the mind. And that's how I will translate it. Yeah, exactly. So he understands mind, he understands the object of the mind. He understands the causal arising of both object and mind and how they become fetters. He understands that. And the next yatta is he understands the unarisen fetters. He understands the unarisen state of fetters that have arisen. In other words, he understands that they're there before they physically arise, I guess is a way that I could have been saying this. But, if something arises, it was there as a seed beforehand, right? So you understand that. Another understanding what brings something from seed to fruition. That's what that line is talking about. And he understands how to avoid the arisen fetters. And the last yatta is he understands how to prevent or avoid the arising of fetters in the future. Those are the 5 again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last paragraph is the one which is the same in every single one of these, because it goes back to he dwells, I'm just going to read the English here. Thus he dwells observing Dharma in, objects of phenomenon, I'll say. He dwells observing phenomenon internally, or he dwells observing phenomena externally. And in this case, the internal is the organ of the senses and the external is the object of the senses. In some cases, it's self and then another being, but here we're talking about the object, the organ, and the object of the sense. So tongue and flavor. All right. So he dwells observing the Dharma and Dharma externally, or he dwells observing Dharma and Dharma internally and externally, simultaneously, seeing that you don't have one without the other. Right? You cannot have flavor without tongue, and tongue is useless without flavor. I mean, that's what the tongue. That's the function of the tongue. If there is nothing to see, what is your eye doing, right? If you're blind. Okay. Dharma and Dharma internally and externally. He dwells observing the origin of the phenomena in the phenomena, or he dwells observing the passing away of the phenomena in the phenomena, or he dwells observing the origin and the passing away of phenomena in phenomena, or he realizes these are phenomena. And in that case, mindfulness is present in him only to the extent that is needed for mere understanding and mere insight. Jnana is understanding, and patisati is a deep insight. That pati makes it, there again, makes it stronger. Patisati, a deep insight. He dwells detached, or the word that's been used over here is abandoned, in abandonment, and he does not cling to anything in the world. Thus, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu dwells observing Dharma in Dharma, phenomena in phenomena. Another interesting ditty I'll do before we, this word patisati, that is means insight, also means, and sati itself also means remembrance. So mindfulness has a connection with remembering, which I think is kind of interesting, something to contemplate, that same word that would mean insight can also refer to remembering and remembrance, or a memory. So I'm just throwing that out as something to ponder. Because it also implies by memory and remembrance that, we're going to the past, right? That's what memory is remembering something from the past. So that's kind of an interesting thing, that it would have those two meanings. I'm not offering an explanation. I'm just throwing that out for for pondering, for confusion, to make you really think about what is sati, what is patisati. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? Any confusions? Any complaints, as Taitan always says?
None of the above.
None of the above. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Ruth.
So you're very welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Todd. Just to say, so when I was on mute, actually, it really helped clarification, Todd, when you asked a couple questions. That was really good.
Yay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. That was spot on.
Yeah, and that's great, because when I appreciated it too, because it really, it helped.
Yeah.
Those things are good. And
Yeah.
that's why in that text that I sent out or email, I said, please, join in.
Yeah.
Join in. I am not Bante.
Yeah.
Yes, without Bonte here, I think your point is well taken that we should all do our best to participate. So
Yeah. Right. And questions
Good.
always in it, they help everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
my
So,
cat's been listening very intently.
okay. That's great.
Yeah.
So who would like to share merit and then we can close out? And I'm not sure if Bante, I'm not really sure what his agenda is, but we'll just play it week by week.
Mhm.
So who would like to share merit?
I
Yeah.
don't have anything memorized. I'm sorry.
I'll share the one that that's the one that you usually share. I'll let you do it, Tom.
I don't have my note card with me.
Okay, then I'll do it, and I have a little different wording, but it's the same
Yeah.
one.
Sure.
And you can repeat each line after me, actually.
Okay.
May those who suffer be free from suffering.
May
May
those who
those who
suffer
suffer be
be
free
free
from
from
suffering.
suffering.
May those who fear be free from fear.
May
May
those
those who
who
fear
fear
be
be
fear
free from fear.
be free from fear. I'm sorry.
May those who sorrow be free from sorrow.
May
May those
those
who
who
sorrow
sorrow
be
be
free
free
from
from sorrow.
sorrow.
May all living beings also be thus.
May all
All
living
living
beings
beings also
also be thus.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu,
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 sadhu.
sadhu.
Okay, great. Well,
Great.
I hope everybody has a good week. And Tom,
Thank you.
your interview goes well in the morning.
Yes.
And
We'll
you get
see.
some sleep now.
Yeah. Watch him on Netflix and you'll know why I'm a little nervous.
Oh, okay. Tell me his name again.
Seymour Hirsch, Cy Hirsch, Seymour Hirsch, and the Netflix documentary is Cover Up.
Cover up.
Yeah.
Seymour Hurst.
Yep. Yeah.
Hurst.
Hersh.
Oh, Her Hirsch. Okay.
Yeah. Cy Hirsch. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Safe
Good
travels,
luck.
Tom.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you,
Hope it
Todd.
goes well.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye
Okay.
now.
Bye-bye.